Hey guys, it's me Charuta and welcome to my podcast. I can finally say it after more than a year of recording my first episode for this podcast. So in that episode I asked you guys for suggestions for the name of the podcast and a lot of suggestions came in, and the one that I liked the best was called CHARCHA with Charuta, which basically means discussion with Charuta. So yeah, this is what I'm going to call my podcast, and welcome to episode 2. Today I was actually supposed to film summer outfits video, but then it was gloomy and raining and there's like barely any natural light. So the lighting for this particular podcast isn't going to be the best, but the content is going to be amazing. So in this podcast I'm going to talk about a topic that is really close to my heart, which is sustainability in fashion, conscious shopping, and I also do no shopping months and no shop journey that I have been following when it comes to fashion. So yeah, this is going to be a really interesting podcast, and this is something that I've wanted to talk about for the longest time. I'm super excited about that. I also have made notes about everything that I want to talk about. So yeah, let's get started. Every girl that I've met in my life absolutely loves fashion and shopping. There are exceptions, but most girls actually do. And this seems like something that is really fun and enjoyable, but most people don't really know the effects it is causing on the environment. And especially I think with the social media coming into the picture, everybody thinks that it is okay to buy a new wardrobe every season, because those are actually one of the most popular videos on YouTube where the influencers go to a store or order a whole new wardrobe for spring, summer, fall, winter, and it promotes so much overconsumption. It's unreal. And I think this is the era of overconsumption, whether it's over-consuming content or overconsumption of clothes, and which doesn't always really end well. With the advent of social media, especially TikTok, and all these like micro trends coming up like cottagecore, coastal grandmom, coastal granddaughter, fairy core. There's like a new micro trend almost every few weeks now. The trend cycle has accelerated so much that if you want to be in trend, you literally have to shop every single week to be trendy per se. And also a lot of videos where people show you their walk-in closets, and these people are mostly influencers, and I'm an influencer too, but like they have rooms full of clothes, but they don't really go anywhere. By go anywhere I mean they don't really go to work, they don't have 9 to 5s. So do they actually really need those clothes to go to the events that they have to go to, or the travel partnerships and stuff? So I think the way influencers are promoting fashion and overconsumption actually makes people feel like it's okay to shop every weekend or every month and get new wardrobes every single season, which is definitely not the case, because I've read so many articles about the way Americans consume fashion these days, and each year an average American gives away or donates or throws away 83 pounds of clothes, which is approximately 37 kgs of clothes per person, and all these clothes go to the landfill. And social media has also given a push to all the fast fashion companies, because with the new trends coming in every few weeks, the fast fashion companies mass produce those clothes. And fast fashion, in my opinion, is really bad. I don't think I've really shopped any fast fashion piece this year. I recently read an article that said Shein like adds 6,000 new pieces every single day. No, it's not every single month or every single week. It's every single day. So can you even imagine the amount they are producing, there's so much mass production and there is not enough demand, so most of these clothes actually end up going to landfill. And with fast fashion companies like Shein, there's a lot of other problems too, like they don't pay minimum wages to their workers literally work 18 hours a day and they just get one single day of leave in the entire month, which is not okay. So it also has a aspect of human rights violation to it, which I won't go too much into detail because that would be another separate podcast if I start talking about it. Also, not to mention the environmental impacts all these fast fashion companies are causing. For example, the fast fashion industry is responsible for 10% of the total global carbon emissions. That's more than the airways and the roadways combined, so that is not okay. Also, the clothes that they produce are not natural fibers, they're mostly polyester. So every time you wash it and these clothes go into the wash cycle, they release microplastics, and these microplastics go into the oceans, enter to fish, and then ultimately enter into our food cycle and enter our bodies. So this pace of consuming fashion is causing more harm than good. And then also these fast fashion companies cause water pollution. So it is impacting every aspect of the environment and our life and others' lives who are involved in the process of manufacturing. I'm sure some of you might have seen pictures of Atacama Desert in Chile, which was doing rounds on social media because of the piles of clothes there are in the desert. So most countries sent their discarded clothes or the new clothes that are not sold to the desert, and then they pile up those clothes. And recently I saw some pictures that those piles of discarded clothes are actually visible from space because those were satellite pictures and you can actually see the pile of clothes in the desert. So this problem is actually getting out of hand because these clothes are not also clothes that have been worn by people for maybe 1 or 2 years and then discarded. These are new clothes directly from the stores which haven't been sold, so they're sending their unsold inventory to the desert. Because I saw a picture and one of the clothing pieces had a tag attached and it was a TJ Maxx tag and the piece was on sale, so that piece wasn't even sold once. Most of those clothes are not compostable, they emit greenhouse gases and they are taking up so much of the land mass, and there's no actual way of recycling those clothes. They're just lying there in piles, and all that again goes to the core, and the core is overconsumption because right now people don't actually buy clothes when they need them. They can buy clothes whenever they want because the salaries have increased, people have more buying power, the economy is growing. So buying clothes is not something that they actually have to save for or wait for like it was in the olden times. You can just walk into a store and look at pieces, and if you like anything you can buy it, you can bring it home and wear it once or twice before discarding it. That is the culture we are living in right now, and that is something that is so wrong with us as a society, because it would make sense if you lost weight and you need new clothes, or you gained weight, you need new clothes. But buying clothes just for the sake of it isn't really the best way to solve this problem. Then again, all these purchases are based on the trends coming out of TikTok and Instagram, and people will have the need to be on trend, wear what's in fashion, and that comes down to having a personal style. So if you haven't figured out your personal style, you'll just buy everything an influencer or anyone on social media is telling you. They would tell you that the floral chokers are in trend, so you'll buy those. They'll tell you the sports jerseys are in trend, so you'll buy that. And that is how the cycle is formed, because a new trend would be introduced on social media, and then the fast fashion companies would notice that trend, and then they'll see the hike in demand, so they'll start producing that trend and they'll mass produce it. Once they produce it, people would buy it. But those trend cycles are really short-lived, so nobody's gonna want to buy that trend 2 or 3 months down the line. The best example of this trend cycle is the House of Sunny dress. So House of Sunny had a green dress, a midi dress. It was a ribbed dress, and it became so popular, and that dress is what I actually saw on Instagram and TikTok. I saw it so much on social media, and I'm not gonna lie, I also thought about buying that dress. I was like, yeah, everybody's wearing it. Should I get that dress? Is that dress really that good? But the surprising thing is, I did not see a single person in real life wearing that dress. And I live in a big city like Boston, and people here are really on trend, but still I did not see anyone actually wearing that dress in person, because it was just a social media trend, and people who actually bought and wore those pieces were influencers and they made videos in it, but I didn't really see real people wearing it. But if you have figured out your personal style, you would buy pieces irrespective of the fact if they are in trend or not. For example, sports jerseys are really in trend right now, but the sports jersey that I am wearing is a vintage sports jersey. It's a Cubs jersey, and I got it about 2.5 years ago when sports jerseys weren't even in trend. I really liked the blue color, and I thought it would be really cool to wear this with mini skirts or jeans or shorts, so I got it. Another example that I can think of is the denim maxi skirts. A lot of people are buying denim maxi skirts right now, but I already have a denim maxi skirt that I bought about 9 years ago from Sarojini Nagar, and I still wear it. It always feels nice to wear pieces when they are in trend, but I would wear my denim maxi skirt even after it goes out of fashion, and I was wearing my sports jersey even before it was in fashion. And same is the case with the lace skirts. My whole Pinterest is full of like graphic tees paired with lace skirts, and I have a white lace skirt again which I got from Sarojini Nagar about 8 or 9 years ago, and I've been like wearing it. It's in trend, so I like wearing it now, but once it goes out of trend, I would still wear it. So having a personal style and knowing what your likes and dislikes are actually helps you not make impulse choices. And that is also the reason why I stopped doing fashion trends videos on my channel. The fashion trends videos were actually one of my favorite videos to make, but I stopped doing them because I did not want to participate in the trend cycle and push for people to actually buy those pieces and wear it for probably a year or two before throwing them away. So I stopped doing those videos. I focus more on my personal style as a person whenever I'm out shopping, and places that I like shopping from are thrift stores or eBay. I try to buy second hand as much as possible, and when I am buying new pieces, I make sure that those are the pieces that I absolutely love and would wear for years to come. And also when I'm buying new pieces, I try to spend my money on smaller designers who are making those pieces sustainably, because I've started buying a lot of pieces from small Indian designers whose styles I like. They are a little bit expensive, but I know that those pieces are sustainably made and the workers are paid fair wages and work in nice working conditions. And also, if I see something online, I just don't buy it impulsively. I sit on it for like months before actually pulling the trigger, and by the time I'm actually done waiting, most times I don't even like the item anymore. Another thing that I do is I do not buy things when they are trending. I would actually wait for the trend cycle to die down, because if I really want that piece and it's not in trend anymore and I still want to buy it, that means I would wear it even if it's not in trend. So I wait for the trend cycles to die down and then buy the pieces that were in trend, because I don't really care about being in trend or not. I just like wearing clothes that feel like myself and that help me express my individuality, if that makes sense. So now let's talk about my no shop journey. I mentioned it in the starting of my podcast. So this is something that I've been doing for the past 2 years. I actually started it last year and decided to continue with it. So last year I did 4 months of no shopping, and this year I'm doing 5 months of no shopping. So no shopping means I cannot buy anything that is either any accessory, clothes, makeup, skincare or shoes, anything that's fashion related or makeup related. But the few rules that I have for my no shop journey is that I can buy underwear whenever I want. I can buy swimsuits whenever I want, because those are the two things that I don't buy second hand. And then if I have to buy technology, like if I have to buy a new phone or a new camera or maybe a SD card or maybe a new mic or maybe a new light, I can buy it whenever I want. And then if I'm running out of skincare that I'm already using, like I'm running out of sunscreen or I'm running out of my body oil, I can buy it. I do not buy new skincare. Like if I want to try some new cream, I would not buy it. Then I can also buy stuff like shampoos and body washes and face wash, etc. when I run out. And other things that I can also buy are groceries and household items like detergents or cleaning liquids and stuff like that, because I am not going to be a filthy little woman. So let's talk about my no shop journey. So at the start of the year I make a plan. So I am doing 5 months of no shop. I'm actually gonna open my phone and look at the plan for this year and tell you guys what the plan is. So I make this plan at the start of the year, and there are 3 kinds of months that I do. The first one is no shop, where I can shop none of the things that I already mentioned. The second kind of month is the months where I can only shop second hand. That means I can go thrifting, I can buy vintage, and I can buy pieces from eBay and Poshmark and Depop and stuff like that, which are second hand. And the third kind of month is I can buy new and old, which means I can buy new pieces which are not second hand, and then along with it I can also buy second hand pieces. So for my second hand only months, I cannot buy new makeup and new skincare. I can only replenish my skincare that is running out. But for the old and new month, I can buy new skincare and new makeup and stuff. So let's talk about this year now. So January was a shopping month for me, where I could buy new pieces and old pieces. February was a no shop month. Then March was again a shopping month, where I could buy old and new. April was a no shop month. May was a shopping month, but it was only second hand and thrifted pieces. June was a no shop month for me, but I actually broke my no shop for June because I was in DC and I went to Georgetown flea market. I saw a really amazing orange tab Levi jeans, which I really wanted to buy, and I knew that if I left that piece I wouldn't find it again. So I bought those jeans, and I also bought a vintage Gucci belt in June. So I bought 2 things in June which were both second hand, but I actually broke my no shop month. Then July is a shopping month for me, but I can only buy second hand and thrifted pieces. August is going to be a no shop month for me. Then September is going to be a shopping month again, but that would only be second hand and thrifted pieces. October is a no shop month. Then November is a shopping month where I can buy new and old pieces, and December is a shopping month where I can buy new and old pieces. So there are 4 months in total this year where I can buy new pieces, and then there are 3 months in total where I can buy only second hand pieces. and then there's 5 months of no shopping. So my personal goal is to reach 6 months of no shopping. So I'll probably try and do it next year, but this year has been going well so far. Just broke my no shop once, and I bought pieces that I know that I'll use forever, so I don't feel that guilty, but then I did break my no shop. The next thing that I actually want to talk about is taking inspiration from the West is not always the best case scenario, because in the US there's such a waste culture. I have to make another podcast on this, but the waste culture when it comes to clothes or food or electricity, like I got such a culture shock when I first moved to US because of the waste culture that they have. They waste so many resources, it's unreal. But I think we should go back to the Indian way, because I remember when we were kids, and even now, at our home, if we're done wearing a piece of clothing and it's still in good condition, we'll upcycle it and probably make cushion covers out of it, or make a quilt out of it, or upcycle a kurti into a short kurti or a top or a pair of pants. That is the Indian way of living, which I absolutely love, because there's so much upcycling and recycling. And I'm sure if you're Indian, you know that once your dad's t-shirts have holes in them, you cut them up and use them as rags for maybe pocha or like cleaning the kitchen, and you only throw stuff out when you feel like it has no life left in it. And that is actually the best way to live. Use what you have, recycle what you have, upcycle what you have, put your creativity into it, and it reduces your waste so much. And I am like really proud of being an Indian and our culture, that we do not have this waste culture. We actually use every resource that we have. For example, I'm sure most of you are familiar with this. We save the little tin cookie jars and use them to store sewing supplies and stuff, and I've seen so many memes about that. But that is actually a good thing, because the best way to be sustainable is to use what you have. Sustainability is not about throwing away all the plastic containers you have to get in glass containers or steel containers. It's using those plastic containers and being as sustainable as you can, so that you reduce your waste instead of creating more waste. And in India, even now, we get our Indian suits tailored, our Indian wear tailored, which is so amazing, because there's no overproduction. You actually buy the fabric and then you go to a tailor and get it made, and because you've got it custom made, it fits you so well that you'll actually wear it multiple times before either upcycling it or recycling it. So yeah, I guess that is my lesson, going back to my Indian roots and going back to our culture of upcycling and recycling and using all the resources that we have. Finally, I want to talk about how do you go about talking to people who haven't heard of like thrifting or buying secondhand, or do not really know that the fashion industry creates so much waste. What I've learned reading about all these things and actually practicing it in my life and talking to other people as well is shaming them is the worst way you can go about it. I think it's all about talking to them and raising awareness and telling them about how harmful it is for the environment, because having new hauls from Shein every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks or every month is not sustainable. And just raising the awareness and telling them how it's harmful might actually work more efficiently than shaming them about buying from Shein or all the other fast fashion brands like H&M or Zara, or this new brand that has come up called Temu, which I keep seeing advertisements for before my YouTube videos, and it annoys the heck out of me. So yeah, talk to them, raise awareness, because they're just buying stuff because it's cheap and they don't actually need it, you know. That's all that I wanted to talk about in this podcast about my conscious, thoughtful shopping and my no shopping months. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me talking about my ideas about fashion and shopping and personal style. And if you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let me know what you wanna see from this podcast. Do you want me to talk to other people in this podcast, bring guests in, or do you want me to keep talking about the subjects that are really close to my heart? I think this podcast is going to be like really light and fun, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you do, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So I'm thinking of coming out with one episode of podcast every month. I feel like that would be a nice space for me to go on. And yeah, let me know if you have any suggestions or ideas for the podcast. And thank you so much for listening to me talk about fashion. This is a super long podcast, but as you know, I can't really stop when it comes to fashion. So yeah, that's it for this podcast. I will see you in my next one. Until then, bye.